Is it because of this moment right here? And I'm not gonna lie, pulling a big fish out of the bag feels amazing, but this moment, it's for Rich and I. It's hard to show it and feel it. Have you ever been out fishing with buddies and you post pictures and you get the comments, it's too small, why do you post that? Why did you bump that? Why do you bother? It's not 50 inches, it's not big enough, it's not pretty enough. We get that all the time, and it's because of stuff on social media that you see, guys that say, I shake off the small fish, I don't keep those ones. This day here fishing with Rich and Dave, I posted some stuff on Facebook and the comments come in. And this is from somebody local who just thinks that we're a joke, and I get it. I understand. They don't like us. I can't control that.
Ooh.
When people say that you shouldn't post little fish or you shouldn't post those things, that only hurts because we're all out there trying to enjoy ourselves, and this fish here that we caught, yeah, it's not a huge fish, tiger, but it was a really cool catch.
Slamming the shit at everything.
They're always pretty. As a new musky angler, if it's a 36 that's your personal best and you're excited, frick, I want to hear that. If it's 52 that gets you excited, I want to hear it. And it's just one of those sports that there's no set bar for everybody. You know, maybe that 50-inch mark, but it shouldn't be that we don't celebrate the 36s for the other guys.
Yeah, I think social media has kind of ruined the reputation of a 50 a little bit. I mean, I'm just so freaking numb to seeing pictures of big fish these days. It's still amazing. It's unbelievable, right? But like, I think you, like you were saying, like you as a yourself has to set those bars and goals or whatever, because otherwise, if you're just looking at pictures of other people and saying, okay, that's my bar, like it's going to be tough to compete.
This fish right here might be arguably the most important fish we ever caught is 54 bust. It proved to us that we could do it on their lake, and even though they didn't take us serious, we knew that we could do it.
Awesome.
Good job.
Yes.
50 inches.
How do you feel about that, Kyla?
Palmed him, Jack. That was awesome. Thank you.
That's a quality fish.
That's a nice one. Nice one. Just waiting for him to feel better so we can let him go.
Kyla strikes again.
Pumped up. That's for sure. Oh, baby duck.
So for us, 2016 was probably the year that it really started us becoming 54 bust, even though wouldn't be until 2017 at Finch's where we first showed that very first t-shirt where we quote unquote became 54 bust. But 2016 we started a couple decent fish. You had caught that 48 I think that year on Cedar.
Yep.
It was 15 or 16.
Yep.
Kyla got her 46. I got a 47, 49 earlier in the year.
Katie, imagine you caught that one earlier. 47.
47.
That's a nice one. That's nice. That was tail.
5:34 a.m. Long-legged. I just hooked a frickin' monster. Huge. This thing's gonna go over 50 for sure. Right there. That's what it's all about. Let's measure this thing up. $49, not quite 50, 49. She's a beast. For us, it started a big run that October and November. That's the year that we fished until like November 22nd or 27th. It was late.
Yeah, it was. We were in the 4th week in November. We had an epic fall.
And it was the first fall that we figured out sucker rigging. Kyla got the first one on a sucker rig, haphazardly, I might add. Do you remember that, Kai?
We had to back out of the tunnel.
Oh, yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of our coming out party that year.
Yeah, it
That
was.
was the first one on the sucker?
That was the first one on a sucker.
Going through the tunnel. That was a little bit of a mayhem.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shit show for sure. But that fall, we never did really keep count, but we probably put an honest 60 fish in the boat that fall.
We put more than that in because we were having 7 fish days.
Yeah,
and
5 to 7 fish days.
And we fished a lot.
We got 2 double headers that fall.
We put more than 60 fish in the boat in those 7 weeks.
We missed a lot, too.
We missed a lot because we were new at it, right? We didn't know.
We were making it up as we went.
Yeah.
Yep.
We didn't know. Stubborn. We're going to do it our way.
Yeah.
You guys
And-
didn't
and
want to
I'm-
listen to me.
And I'm glad we did it our own way.
That might be true.
I'm glad we did it our own way.
Yeah, we did it our own way. And I remember you telling me what Bratlin told you. That was kind of the year that we went from nobody cared what we did to all of a sudden it was like, hey, those guys are actually catching quite a few fish over there.
Well, when you're posting fish, like 5-6 fish days, and that's happening 3 times a week, you get people's attention. And I remember him saying, yeah, you guys are starting to piss me off. So I'm like, oh, we're doing something right.
Yeah. For us, I don't think we never felt like we had to catch a 50 at that point in time to be thought of as legitimate. At least in my eyes, I don't think that early on we felt that way.
I don't think we were even trying to legitimize ourselves at that point.
I don't think
we were
so.
just
No.
fishing and having fun whether the cameras were rolling or not.
The need of catching a 50, I think for me, I got to a point where it was like I wanted to catch one because for no other reason, I wanted your dad and your brothers to think that we were capable, part of the club, or, you know, just, again, a little bit more legitimized. And
I think they always knew we were capable. We just had to put ourselves in the right body of water,
the right time.
and the right time.
Yeah.
Well, and you got to learn too, like your dad was a big influence. Like I still read shorelines because of stuff Harry taught us.
Yeah.
Like it's just that knowledge.
Well, even
was
when
there.
I don't even think he realizes he's teaching. He's just talking, but he's
even the
instilling
days,
so much knowledge.
the days
into
that he
us.
comes bass fishing with us,
Well,
and he's showing us something, and then
because it all translate over.
2 summers later, you guys are on Cedar and you're going to do a trolling run, and you guys find all these gravel runoff areas into the lake off of what Harry's telling us.
Yeah, and I waypointed him, and we went back and did a trolling run and picked up fish on every spot.
Yeah, on almost every spot we see fish. I know for me, the day that I did catch the 50, I don't even remember where we were going to go, Dave. It was just we had a super strong south wind.
It was windy, and that was the safest landing.
Yeah, we were just
We had the kids.
well,
Yeah.
let's go to Cedar. And
I think you guys were actually wanting to go to Eagle or something that day because I was working.
it was just way too rough.
Yeah.
And we went to Cedar, and it was so early on in filming. We didn't know what we were doing. We just, for some reason, we stopped at the start of the road. Let's just put up a camera and just film all the way in. And we did. And we got on the water, and Dave's like, oh, there was a nice fish here the other
And
day.
the weeds are right up.
The weeds are right up. And
They were.
you were just putting the graph in and 2 casts in. And I up until that point, I honestly didn't know that it was ever going to happen. I knew going to Eagle or going to Cedar, there's that chance.
That's 50 all day.
For me, when we posted it and it feels good, you get some of the good comments and stuff. And I think in 2017, 2016, 2019, it was a little bit different. Social media probably wasn't quite what it is now. And now you see, like Max and Gus said on the podcast, like it's just Facebook's inundated with these pictures, and that's why we purposely don't do a lot of grip and grins.
Well, what drives me nuts is look at how big
Yeah.
this knife is. I hate that shit.
Yeah, so we
But
try
if social
not.
media is full of that,
Yeah,
all of a sudden, unless it's a 72.
And social media does take that away sometimes. I remember even early on when you and I would go out, or the three of us, and I would catch a fish and you would post it, whether I would post it or you would post it on my behalf. People were like, what do you just let her hold all your fish? And like they were basically shitting on
Yeah.
it. But the fact that I was catching these fish and getting these accolades from some people and then pretty much shot down by others was like, oh, you just let her hold your fish
Yeah.
and like she's not catching it.
I'll leave it with one thing that stuck with me, probably outside of some of the advice that Kevin Wegner, our good buddy's given me. He's been a big help navigating the good, the bad, and the other.
He's always a good sounding board.
Yeah, in the musky industry. But probably the best piece of advice I ever got, especially when it come to what we're doing as a group, is from Pete Mena. And he's like, you haven't made it until you start getting the hate mail. And when you have haters, you guys are doing good. And I'm like, we've had the hate mail, we've had the hate messages, and like Pete said, just wear it.
You have to.
I think I don't want to fish that lake because it's not giving me a shot at that fish. And maybe in the back of your head you were like, I don't want to catch a 40 anymore. I want to catch a 50.
It was after I caught that 46 for sure. And then we had that big run where there weren't little fish, but there was a lot of like that 40 to mid 40s range. Yeah. And we had done that, I think, kind of consecutively 2 years in a row, that I was like, okay, I want a big one now, because I'm stuck on that 46. You had your 50, you had bigger, and then you caught your 50, and I was like, okay, well, I need mine now.
Yeah.
Like,
for me, though, we were getting that reputation of, oh, those guys don't catch big fish. And I think over the last couple of years, we've changed that. We've caught, especially the tigers we're catching, like a lot of big tigers. And when I see top end guys in the industry coming to Canada and getting a 45-inch tiger and it being a big deal to them.
That's their highlight. Yeah.
It's a highlight of a Canadian trip. And we stick 3 of them on like 3 consecutive weeks in the fall. And we're not looking for any extra accolades, but it's just rewarding to know that, okay, we're doing something that people are really striving to do. And then I think Dave and I started to feel like Kyla's got to get that fish. Somehow she's got to get that big fish, and I don't think a 48 was going to cut it for you.
No, it had to be.
It had to be a 50.
It wasn't going to. And
no.
Again, it goes back to my time between work and the kids, family, just so busy that I wanted to maximize whatever time I had on the water at a chance at catching that 50, and kind of staying on par with you guys and not losing that, because we do rib each other a lot in the boat, and most times it's good fun. But when you feel like you're lagging behind so far because you've caught 10 fish, you've caught 8, throughout the summer, and I'm sitting
I didn't catch 10.
I'm sitting at 0.
Yeah.
No, I'm
talking later on. It's like, okay, like let's just get it done and get that big one in the boat. Whether it was me or Dave, I would have been happy. It's just,
Yeah, because we always work as a team, but there's a point where we wanted you to get one.
Well, absolutely.
Because it just feels like we've done it together so much that we wanted it to happen. And it just, I think that 46 hung over your head like just like a dead weight for so long. And
I wouldn't necessarily call it a dead weight, because I was always very proud of it.
Yeah,
I still am to this
it's
day.
It's a really good fish, and
it was a feel-good fish. It was a good call in the boat on my behalf. I kind of like where I thought it might be, again, based off of kind of what my dad has taught us. And like, I was happy with it. It just, I wanted a chance at doing better. Musky fishing. It isn't for the faint of heart or the impatient. It can be a grind each and every time you're on the water. You have to be willing to accept failure and defeat, willing to weather the storm in hopes that you're patient enough and life will give you a break.
Is a fish.
That's a demon.
That's why we do this.
Have we ever caught anything in here?
Yep.
Oh, you let go. You let go of the sucker. Oh, you're on top of him. Oh. I can't do much more, Dave. Get him.
He's down. Look at these guys.
Look here, Kai.
Oh my God.
PB right there.
Might be.
Oh, it is, for sure it is.
Come on, buddy. Cooperate here.
Magic mark. You just busted your PB.
Oh my God! What is it?
52 and a quarter. Look up here, Kai.
Come on.
Oh my God, no wonder I can't hold this.
Hey, hold her up.
I can't.